All right, last time we talked to you, the results weren't quite as good as they were this week. You guys did some things you haven't done before. You made some stops on third down. You got off the field and gave your offense a chance. How much of a role do your guys play in that?
Well, it's a team effort. I think, it all goes together. I think when the D-line plays well, I think the rest of the defense is going to play well. And I thought that we did a good job up front, winning the battles. We won more battles than we've been winning, and that's what we're gonna have to do to be successful on defense. And so, I thought that I was really pleased with the way the guys played.
I don't think you guys really like to single anybody out specifically, but are there any guys after 6 weeks or so that have really stepped up and kind of separated themselves a little bit?
You know what? I think it's the other way around. I think more guys have kind of come up and caught up with the guys that are the starters, because I really thought that the second unit, the guys that came in and played with the second group, gave us the same energy and played the same as the first group. It wasn't any letdown when we put them in there. As long as that keeps happening, then we're going to be pretty good.
We're not seeing, every week I talk to you, and you seem pretty happy with the performance of your guys, but we're not really necessarily seeing it show up on the stat sheet as much. So if you could kind of explain, who are the guys that are coming up and making plays, and what are some of the things they're doing? We haven't heard much from Keon lately, and we haven't heard. You keep talking about Ben, but he doesn't show up as often.
Well, like you said, he doesn't show up in the stat sheet, but he shows up in the hustle and keeping blockers off the linebackers and allowing them to flow and make plays. And even though he's not getting the sacks, he's getting pressure on the quarterback, things like that. Not only Keon didn't play because his ankle was still bothering him, so he didn't play in the last ball game. So he got hurt in the K-State game, so he missed the Oklahoma State game. But guys like John Williams, guys like Akiba is back healthy, playing pretty good. And when you can roll those guys in with Jordan and Kevin Young, and you bring in Darius Willis as a kid who played for us, who gave us great effort and didn't make a whole lot of plays, but he made some plays. But his energy and his on the sideline and just was tremendous.
You mentioned Darius. He's a guy. When we first saw him kind of make that switch to make that transition, he was running pretty far down on that those units. I think he was the last guys going there. But can you talk a little bit about his progress and how quickly he seems to have jumped up?
Sure. You know what? It all started when he was down with the show team. Coach Weiss kept saying, "Hey, Darius giving us great effort. He's giving us a great look." I think we played him at defensive end. I think that may be a position that he could play. And that went on for a few weeks, and then through the bye week, you had more time to work with him and do some things, and then the next week I got a chance to play him a little bit, not much, and then I felt comfortable. I felt that he had learned enough and knew enough to get in the game and help us. And so, it's through his hard work, he's really come along a lot faster than what I thought he would.
We talked last week about Oklahoma State's tempo and how quickly they can kind of push you. It makes it tough to get subs in there and let your defense get set up. This week, Oklahoma's kind of similar, up tempo, and there was. I guess first of all, how do you feel you dealt with that? I noticed there was a couple times especially on short yardage situations, they really jumped the gun on you guys and took advantage of that. What are some of the things you can do? And I guess briefly kind of talk about how you felt about it.
As coaches, we got to get the plays into the guys a little faster. Obviously, Oklahoma and Oklahoma State, what they do, they're a little different than most offenses. Most offenses kind of slow down on third down. They kind of speed up on third down, which is different philosophy than most offenses that we play against. So we got to be on top of that a little bit better, I think. Trying to keep it simpler for the kids so that they can get lined up quick and recognize what's going on and play fast. That's the bottom line.